welcome back to my channel. This week I have a new workbench that you see behind me. I recycled some old scaffolding boards that were used on a building site and they were proper dirty, full of cement, and I decided to turn them into a workbench for my office. My old office desk I gave to my boss. I'll explain after, it was just too pretty, but I'm going to get straight into the video and I'm going to show you how I turned some scaffolding boards into an actual table for my office. Don't forget, if you are new to my channel, hit the sub button so you don't lose me on YouTube. Hit the sub and I'll have the chats later. Here's how I made my table. So here are my scaffold boards before I got my hands on them. They actually look okay in the video, but they did have cement on them. They had some chips, bit of wood kind of coming off, and the metal bits on the end were full of muck. These actually came from an actual building site, so they have been used. They're not kind of, you know, perfect shop ones. So here's some of the tools I'm using. I've got my drill, I've got my sander, I've got some nails, I have some brackets to hold the back of the wood together, and I also have my mask and some goggles as well. So out to the garden, I lined up my wood on my garden table. Blondie also decided she wanted to help as usual for a DIY. When I was in the hardware store, I was looking for longer pieces like brackets that I could use to support the back. This is all I could find in mine. So basically I have two metal plates in the center, and then I just have two smaller ones either side, and these have held the weight. The scaffold board is quite heavy, but these have worked. You could also use wood. You could use some longer pieces of wood to stick it together on the back. I simply just drilled in some pilot holes. I remembered from my last wooden crate video that pilot holes are very important. So drilled in some pilot holes, and then I'm drilling in the nails so the wood doesn't split on me. Do not underestimate the weight of your scaffold board tabletop. It is hard to flip. Probably could have done with getting help to flip it, but I flipped it in the end. Here is my epic fail at trying to be cute putting on my mask. But when using sanding and chemically products and stuff like that, do put some goggles on and make sure you protect them lungs and wear a respirator. I sanded back my pallets mainly just to get, there was cement on them, so I wanted to get some of the cement off. I had a kind of grey colour to it because obviously it was used in a building site. There was a lot of kind of dust and grime, so I just wanted to smooth it down so I could use it as a workbench and it wasn't going to be, you know, rough. I wanted to get a nice smooth texture. You can see the difference here between the first and second planks. And I also have another helper. So I decided to give it a good scrub to remove any remaining cement, dirt, grime, any dirt that I would have had from the building site. I think I forgot to film, but I also gave this a light whitewash. If you would have seen me do the whitewash technique in a couple of videos. I'll pop a card in here where you can see me do that effect, but I basically just applied a thin layer of watered down white paint just to give it that kind of white look and take away the yellow. I also sealed it with some matte varnish as well. I picked up these IKEA legs for my base. Reason being, these are adjustable in height, which is exactly what I need for a workbench, because sometimes, you know, I'll sew and I might need to raise the table so I can cut fabric so it's easier on my back, or if I'm crafting and I need to kind of stand. That's kind of why I went for these table legs. I can also store my sewing machine at the bottom as well. So these table legs for me were a win-win. You can also get fixings in IKEA to stick your table to the top. Now, the tabletop is heavy, so So I didn't need to fix this to it because I'm going to be raising and adjusting it. The weight of it is keeping it down, but you can, if you do use a lighter table, you can get fixtures and fittings in IKEA so you can drill the tabletop to the legs, but mine is just sitting on top and the weight is holding it down. I then just styled my table with all my usual stuff. I just put my sewing machine down by my foot because that's handy. I can just pick it up. Extra little bit of storage. You could put baskets on the bottom as well. I just put my usual knickknacks and trinkets. I keep a lot of my tools to hand. I have the pegboard beside the table, which you would have seen in my office tour declutter video from earlier this year. So that's my new workbench. I basically needed a workbench. My old office desk, which I have a video on. It's a cheap IKEA table, like Lerberg legs with a Linwan top. I can't pronounce the IKEA names. And I sprayed the legs gold. Deadly table, served me well. I ended up giving it to my boss in work. So she has my old office desk. Didn't throw it out. I passed it on. And she needed a new desk, and I was like, you know what, I need something that's more of like a workbench. And the great thing about the IKEA legs that I bought is I can raise them. So any of my crafting ladies, if you're cutting fabric or if you're making something, I stand. And you'll notice in my videos, I'm using my kitchen table. My kitchen table is getting wrecked just because it's a good height. So I made myself a new workbench purely so it's multifunctional. I can raise it, I can craft, I can sew, I can lower it, and I can sit and I can like have my laptop there. I can edit videos, and it's an actual desk as well. I have a question for my creative people because I'm sure I'm not alone, but I find that I can't be stuck to an office desk. I feel like, I don't know, I'm trapped or something. So I find like I'll edit videos sitting on the couch and my back is getting sore, because when I'm sitting at a desk I feel like I don't know. Are you guys the same? Do you feel kind of restricted in an office if you are a creative brain? So I'm trying to make my office less officey and more workspacey. You know, I've got my pegboard, I've got my tools, and I've got all my other stuff close to hand. So it was feeling a bit too officey for me, and I love this because it feels more workbenchy. And I love how it matches my wallpaper. That wallpaper is Laura Ashley. I buy their wallpaper when it's on sale. I never buy it full price. And I can't remember the name. I think it's Avery something, Avery Green. You'll find it. I think I put it up 2 years ago. Yeah, so I love how it kind of ties in. I like the texture. Just a little disclaimer as well, I am obviously not a trained woodwork kind of person. Yes, I've done some workshops here and there and I'm confident picking up a power tool, but I'm not an expert, I'm not a pro. There will be much better videos on YouTube on how to make a tabletop. That's what I did, that's how I made mine. Do your research. If you do want to pick up power tools, just read the safety instructions that come with them, watch videos. A lot of brands will have tutorials on how to use their stuff. So yes, I actually got a new power tool for this video. I got a new sander. I bought that in Homebase. I needed something stronger. My old sander was like one of the little mouse ones, so I needed something stronger. So yeah, extra precautions if you need to cut your wood. I know sometimes in B&Q they will cut wood to size for you, so you can even get people to cut things for you if you're not confident doing that. that's it for this week, everyone. I hope you like. Thumbs up for my scaffold board table. Let me know if you like it. I know it's not going to be to everyone's taste as an office or workbench. I love it. It suits kind of what I do. Probably not practical if you sit and write at a desk, but for me, it fills my vibe. I like that it's not perfect. It's like slab of wood. Do you know what I mean? So thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I will catch you in the next video. I will see you next week. Bye everyone.